Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 709 Meridian. My name's Andrew.
And this is Dee.
And this is our penultimate episode of Season 1. We are watching Halloween 2, 1980s Halloween 2, directed by Rick Rosenthal, and starring Lance Guest and
Leo Rossi.
Yep. Okay, so we mentioned it last time. We are not watching the TV cut. Sorry. People who want to see Lance Guest survive, we are watching the theatrical version.
The TV cut, of course, is one that a lot of people, even myself, are familiar with. That's the "we woke up in an ambulance" ending, which, we won't be seeing that here.
No. I think we talked about it last time that with the TV cut, running between the movie, probably 82, and then the sequel, and then 4 in 88, there was, of course, the idea that Jimmy, Lance Guest character from this, was the
little
baby
Jamie
daddy.
Lloyd.
Yeah. But not in this continuity. We're back to
we're back to
the first
run.
sequel continuity. Yeah.
This is like Back to the Future before Marty jumps in that DeLorean. Doc is dead. You didn't write that damn note.
All right. So, let's get going on this. It's been a while since I've seen it. So, all right. And then obviously next episode, closing off our first season, will be Halloween 1. And,
the OG.
And also not the TV cut. So, but anyway, let's get rolling, and we'll start off in 3, 2, 1, play.
All right.
Universal Pictures.
The old school Universal logo. My favorite.
This is very much a Universal movie. Like, I remember I saw this and 1 and 2 of these, and like Jaws 1 and 2 in the same week. And Jeffrey Kramer's in both this and Jaws 2. And it just fits because it's just, this is just what Universal was like for that second.
Yeah. This and like The Fog, right? Anything
The Fog
that was
was
John
Embassy.
Carpenter.
No.
Oh, that's right. It was Embassy.
But The Thing, and this is the first time Mr. Sandman's used. Oh, here we go. Actual footage.
It does, and it doesn't quite line up with the new footage. All of this, of course, is from the first movie.
Did we ever find out why Jamie Lee Curtis didn't just grow her hair back the same way? Like, has anybody ever?
I
Is there an explanation?
She was just keeping it short at the time, I suppose. Or she had just cut it. Because isn't this film right after something else? Like directly?
Well, it would have been like, what?
Terror Train or something?
Terror Train or Prom Night, right?
Prom Night,
like,
yeah. She was keeping her hair relatively short at that point.
Okay, and so she pulls up the mask here, or no? She already did that?
Yeah.
And that's cut a little. We saw more in the original version.
Yeah, we saw his actual face. Okay, look at the lights.
Okay.
The lights on the porch. Classic Pleasence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is
Definitely. I'm fresh from the set of Escape from New York.
Mm-hmm. And they cut out the shot upstairs where he sees the body gone.
Yeah.
So,
but before, those porch lights weren't even on in the original. That's how you could tell the footage, I guess.
Oh, he shot him. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
All right. He forgot to lick his fingers.
Fucking left Lori alone. Like,
yeah, just left her upstairs to freak the hell out.
I mean, that's kind of the thing is Loomis is a terrible psychiatrist. Like, that's...
Oh, yeah, he's driven to obsession at this point.
Rambling to some stranger.
Here we go.
So, this has the script by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill credit, but what is it? Carpenter's story is that he like fucking got drunk and he wrote this. Like,
damn.
It's unclear what Deborah Hill fixed his typos, I guess, but it's also a Dino De Laurentiis production.
It's better than, Stephen King. I snorted a mountain of coke and wrote Cujo. Maximum Overdrive.
Right. And so here's where we establish the cool jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, yeah. Skull.
Yeah. That they carry through to the... Is it in Kills? It's in
one of them.
Yeah. Might be in Kills. Watched too many of these to remember.
Yeah. There's always a damn pumpkin.
Of course, this is Hunter Von Leer. Can't forget Hunter Von Leer. Will Patton, alternate universe Will Patton.
There you go.
So Nancy Stevens will be back in this. When do we get the skull just like pushed out? Leo Rossi. Mark Goldblatt edited this. Wow. Okay. This guy did Aliens, I believe. It was Aliens, but then he directed... This guy directed The Punisher. The Lundgren one. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here's the skull. Yeah, music by John Carpenter in association with Alan Howarth. They did about... So
then they went on to do 3 then, right?
I think so. And they did that in association with Thing through a lot of the 70s. Michael Riva, production designer. Riva, yeah.
Dean
Cundey. That's a kind of a fucked up looking skull. Like,
yeah. That's Spirit Halloween skull.
Right. Directed by Rick Rosenthal. With a lot of interference from John Carpenter, who thought Rick Rosenthal did a terrible job. But now it is like we're watching Halloween Kills, right? Like,
yeah, pretty much.
They duplicate this while changing all of it pretty well, at least stylistically, especially when you're shooting South
track shot.
Carolina for California for Illinois.
Mm-hmm. But this kind of looks like an Illinois alley.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that shot there. So he's not too far off from the house.
So he really did just fucking leave Lori.
Mm-hmm.
I shot him in the heart.
6 times. Calm down, old man. Whew. You know, you smell like a distillery, Dr. Loomis.
I just got off the phone with Michael Pataki, and he says you're fucking drunk.
Right, Dr. Pataki says.
Oh,
yeah.
in some ways, so what's his face? Rob Zombie did a big Halloween 2 homage with his Halloween 2, as far as that goes. But Halloween Kills sort of did the same kind of thing of like peeping, Michael Myers peeping in on just regular people. The difference is that they weren't watching the news about Michael Myers killing a bunch of people.
No.
In this one, like they are in Halloween Kills. Nope. But there it is. Oh, gee, did Coke, is there some product placement?
Yep. This is a very tame Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
He's got business.
He just wants that knife. And this, Night of the Living Dead sort of repeats the original. They were watching The Thing and something else in the original. I always wished they'd done more in the other movies with that, like.
Yeah, the parallel.
Thing. Yeah, with and using the movie to sort of track how the time's progressing through the night is a nice trick that they did in the first one. They do it in this one too to some degree, but they could have done that in the other ones. I mean, they do the shot where she's looking out of the house in all the damn movies now, but
yeah. See, they were the Elrods, who are a reference later on in the H4O, I believe.
Okay. The Devil's Due had the comic license for this for a hot minute, and in the 40th anniversary or the 30th anniversary special, I think it was the 30th. They did a like spin-off, like sequelizing the first movie from the perspective of the little kids who go next door to get help from one of the neighbors, but it's like a killer old couple. So Tommy Doyle and Lindsay couldn't show up in anything else because they were killed by these old people on Halloween too. Like,
wow.
Northwest Haddonfield. Yeah, here's the thing though. I don't believe there's a fucking Illinois street called Orange Grove. Like,
no, it would be Oak Grove or
yeah. What does B and N stand for?
I don't want to know.
It just occurred to me you could. Okay.
Eesh.
Why'd she have to go?
Yeah, that's the big question. Like, there's a lot of senseless victims
Yeah,
And
this
so
one especially.
especially if he's so dead set on getting Lori.
And supposedly that was Carpenter, right? Like that's what Rick Rosenthal says is Carpenter shot all those inserts.
Mm.
Or some of them anyway. I don't fucking cares what Rick Rosenthal says, sorry. But like, this movie proves there's the fucking wig. Damn.
There's Lori in the Hulk wig.
I mean, Universal backlot.
Yeah. That's Beaver Street.
But this movie definitely proves that you can pretty easily ape a John Carpenter movie. H2O does it better, but like,
It's the closest, yeah.
yeah. And that's what they were going for, no matter what Rick Rosenthal says, right? Like, come on.
Then you get to H4O and H4O kills, where they just lift entire scenes, complete,
Yeah.
camera shots.
Much more in H4O or in kills, which sort of means that they could have made H4O fit a little bit better too.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Haddonfield Memorial Hospital.
Comes a little bit of gore for you kids out there. Just to show you, Michael Myers ain't the only evil out there on Halloween night.
Oh, fuck, it's the
Silver
razor
Shamrock
blade.
guy.
So that would be he got his razor blade from that house that's in that comic or whatever. Devil's Due also did we're going to do a 3-issue series tying this to H2O, but they either went out of business or lost the license between issues 2 and 3, so they never finished it.
Oh.
But it was called The Many Deaths of Laurie Strode. It's all about her faking her death.
I remember one of those companies did a Friday the 13th comic. It was terrible.
Oh man, was it Devil's Due? Probably had it at some point, but I feel like it was one of the other ones.
It was awful. The art was bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
All they wanted to do was draw women naked and just the gore. That was it.
What fucking yeah, there was a bunch of those like that, and then eventually we should see a doctor. What the fuck? Like, the kid's literally got a fucking razor blade in his mouth.
Right. He's about to be trap jaw over here. And the whole hospital has to gather around Lori. Laurie Strode. Her band played last week.
Everybody knows Laurie Strode.
You weren't due till Tuesday. There you go, Gloria Gifford. Got a steady hand there, Doc? They do this in the other one too, right? Don't put me to sleep.
One.
I'm thinking H.
In Resurrection. Not Resurrection. Yes. Right? At the beginning of Resurrection? Or no?
Think.
I'd like just a movie of the two of them bickering.
Yeah, yeah. In that tight ass car. Jesus. The car should be bigger, shouldn't it?
Yeah, and he's just finding out now that his daughter was killed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or not even yet, right?
No, when he walks up, it's Annie.
And then he disappears from the movie.
Rest of the movie, yeah.
You are lying, Loomis. You shot
I
him
think you're
5
drunk,
times.
doctor.
Shit. That's the end of Ben Tramer. Here we go.
Oh, he's wearing that other mask.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing that Halloween 4 mask.
It's like, what the fuck?
He said, wait a minute.
But not only does he get hit, he blows up in an A-team explosion.
Right? It's just an instant boom.
And we will. I couldn't have stopped. What? He came out of
I
nowhere.
didn't see him in the middle of the road.
He was
there.
walking really slow away from them.
My God.
Here we go.
Okay, now this is a harbinger, though. Danny. This does call to the end of the movie, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of brilliant.
Do you think that was supposed to be Adrienne Barbeau before they got divorced?
It could have been. She had the best look of a worried mother like that, too.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what year's Escape from New York? Isn't it 81?
Yeah.
Maybe she was busy shooting that.
And then, well, she did like 3 in a row. That was a busy woman.
And then she did Swamp Thing the next year.
Right. Swamp Thing, Creep Show was 82. Just tell it to call you Billy. Gloria Gifford.
Do we know what happened to her leg? She tripped, right?
Right. She fell. She fell off remember the second floor from the other house? She was like already limping.
So I like how in the first movie, Lori's never flirted with a boy before. And now she's like, what's up, 19-year-old, 19 to 21-year-old?
Yeah, she's at ease with this guy. Hey, look, it's Dana Carvey.
Is that Dana Carvey?
Mm-hmm. Watch her eyes. Watch her eyes. Watch, watch.
It's always a bummer that she didn't go on to more.
Right?
She has a cameo in 3 as Tom Atkins' ex-wife.
Huh. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
I mean,
there's more that. There's more that Carpenter could have put her in. He did enough later on.
Yeah.
There's a kid dressed as Marty McFly in the back.
They should get all the cops who don't believe Loomis together.
Dr. Pataki called ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you got to get this loon named Dr. Loomis. Look, the reporters and shit are listening.
The fucking Cundey photography in this is really good. Like,
yes, it is. I love his tracking.
mm-hmm.
Just
and just the way the shops are lit. Like,
yeah,
because this would have been like one of the last kind of non sort of 80s proto tentpole releases, right? Like, they're never just chill scenes like this in Big Trouble or anything like that. Now we're establishing the supporting cast, everyone. This is
yeah. Just letting you know that the victims are human as well. These kids had lives, man.
These young adults, these are all young medical professionals when you think about it. It's not like, what do you call it? Fucking Friday the 13th, where they're all supposed to be 17. And this is nice, bringing back the
excuse me, man.
Bringing back Boombox Kid. But I was thinking earlier, you could do a Halloween movie in one. I mean, you'd fake it, but you could do it in one continuous shot. That'd be something to try.
Right. You could remake it that way, yeah.
You know, for Halloween, Rob Zombie's next remake of Halloween or whatever the fuck it's going to be.
Oh, God.
After that, what would it be after that? After Blumhouse is done with something, who makes it? Oh, shit. Oh, no, Michael Bay's place is out of business. That would have been kind of funny to see a fucking Michael Bay produced Halloween remake.
A lot of explosions.
Mm-hmm. Well, when Ben Tramer gets killed, is there going to be an explosion?
A lot of sunset shots for no reason.
A lot of girls in bikinis. It is practically a Michael Bay movie. Like,
loud ass music.
She's parking in visitors parking. Oh, boy. Man. What happened to the mask in between the two movies?
They got super dirty.
Well, also, they didn't focus on the eyes in the first one, right?
No, he was just that's why he was called the Shape. He couldn't, he had the black eyes. Yeah. The devil's eyes. Yeah, Leo Rossi being Leo Rossi.
Pretty much.
No script for this guy here.
Smoke a joint, and when you get to the roach, scene. All right, so we got Night of the Living Dead going on in the background. I don't know. Lean into the fucking sounds for Michael Myers action. Do more with it.
It's like the movies on TV are kind of a harbinger. I love that.
I mean, when you think about it, nothing they brought over from the first movie. They brought over good shit from the first movie. Like, there's just not. What? Oh.
But up.
I mean, what does she think? He's sitting there smoking a joint. Like,
Right, he's chilling. I'm gonna say whatever the hell I want to.
so is there more canoodling between this hospital staff or just any random episode of Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah, that.
Like,
Listen, I'm high. There you go. I've done it before.
college boy. That implies that Jimmy is at least 19.
Yeah, he's 19 or so.
Is he? Well, no, because it's fall. So he would not be on summer break. What if I think he's 20. I think he's 20 plus.
Didn't he say his brother was the same age or something?
Yeah, we weren't paying attention to it. Or Leo Rossi's brother was the same age or something.
Yeah.
Jimmy's a fucking buzzkill. I mean, okay, so I will say, however, it's not like there was a better version of Lance Guest in 1981, right? Like,
no.
Lance Guest was your best earnest.
It was either Lance Guest or they begged Scott Baio to do it.
19 to 22-year-old white guy, basically. Like,
this is the emptiest hospital, too. Like, where are the mothers to these kids?
So he just came in to sit down and talk to her about Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See, this is actually like a good idea. Like, for Laurie's not arc that she gets in this movie. Yeah, that is kind of the thing. And they did that in Halloween Kills, right? They promised Michael Myers was going to go into hospital and kill a bunch of fucking people, like a lot of people, like he does at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But they had the money that they could have had more people in the hospital and just figured that shit out, right? Like,
yeah. But no, they blew all that on. We got to chase this guy through the hospital so he could jump out of the window or whatever. Jump off the roof.
So her last name, the character's last name is Alves. I always wondered if she's named after Joe Alves, the guy who he was the production designer on Jaws 1 and 2 who directed Jaws 3.
Could be.
It just seemed to...
It's very universal anyways.
Mm-hmm. All very, late 70s, early 80s universal backlot.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Just go, damn it, Janet.
So presumably the nurse is not worried about Michael Myers attacking the hospital. She just doesn't want to walk to the other end of the hall to tell the guy the phones are out.
Right. Just lazy as fuck.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those workplaces where you're supposed to feel like Mrs. Alves is a bitch, which is probably...
The thing is, she's a bitch for doing her job.
Right. And because all of her staff suck, right?
They're lazy asses.
It's that fucking guy. It's the late chick. It's Leo Rossi tried to fuck everybody. And it's Jimmy tried to,
just mooning over Laurie.
Yeah. So it's like the most justified pissed off boss. And I always thought she was incredibly sympathetic for it. And it's just like, no, the movie's like, no, she sucks. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like,
and she sucks because everybody else thinks she's a bitch.
There's your better movie. It's her trying to get Laurie out of there. It's a proto Aliens with Ripley and Newt.
Yeah, that's the next remake.
Well, supposedly the original Halloween idea for Halloween 2 was Halloween in an apartment complex, which I always thought was like a high rise, and Michael was going up the floors killing people, which I always thought was a great idea because, like, it'd be the Towering Inferno, only a slasher movie. But
I always like the idea of a Friday the 13th taking place during the winter.
Yeah, and they were going to do that. The second, what's it called, was supposed to be that, right? The second Platinum Dunes.
Yeah.
You got a fucking series like Hellraiser. There are 14 of them. They've never made a fucking good one.
No.
Or even had like a good idea.
The first one, which was,
better
middle
than the
of the
second
road
one
for what it was.
The second one
okay.
Has that hell that looks like it's Tron.
Yeah, the dark side of Tron.
Mm.
And this guy here, the security guy, otherwise known as the Candyman from the Death of Fonzie episode of Happy Days.
Really?
Yeah. One of Fonzie's nemesis. I don't think Mego made an action figure of him.
Speaking of which, there's an action figure on that bookshelf. I wonder what it is. It looks like it. Look at that. Above that yellow binder. Let's see. Bleach. Yeah, I would say this is the scene where you realize that Rick Rosenthal can't keep up a John Carpenter impression.
No.
Like, it just goes on too fucking long. And it's just like, it's Dean Cundey or whatever, but it feels like a fucking episode of the Rockford Files. Or not
Right.
even something that, like, a Rockford Files knockoff.
Yeah, it's staged wrong. It's smaller.
They should have cast that part better too. Like,
She just tosses it in a water fountain.
Halloween movie, Halloween 2. Don't forget, girls are smart. That's like the thing that's so fucking weird about it is like, regardless of the script, Deborah Hill still produced it, right? And she like put a lot of work into the female characters and all the other movies they made together. But all of a sudden with Halloween 2, she's just like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, they're all dummies.
Oh, excuse me. I'm just
Door number 2?
such a tense scene here.
There's no build up really.
No. And it's one of those sequences where here we go.
Eh.
And I mean, there are a bunch of those, right? There are a bunch of those failed jump scares.
Yeah. Because that one was just.
And there's another jump scare. Are they jump scares or pop scares?
Well, the jump is the door.
Hmm.
Pop is like if you come off from from off screen somewhere.
Okay. So that's Jeffrey Kramer, who appeared in Jaws 1 and 2 as the sheriff's deputy.
Another Universal
Yep. Another
connection.
universal connection. And he has a very oddly limited career for somebody who's like such a wonderful sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
Are these the best cops in a Halloween movie?
Well, they're the ones that give a shit
Like
because
they
it
don't.
hasn't gone farther than the town. This fucker might mess with our town. We got to get him.
But I mean, again, like there's shit going on over the night. Like it's a fair, like, thoughtful elements of this, the plotting. But again, it's 1978, and these people know more about what's going on in their little town than they do 40 years later when they're all listening to Tommy Doyle fucking get drunk. Also, that is not the Myers house from the first one, right? Like, that is a much nicer house.
Yeah. That is a residential street, though, I believe. That's definitely on location somewhere. Give me that. They're in Warren County.
Yep. The
Now,
mm,
later, do they have Haddonfield badges? I wonder. Because the sheriffs, they went all out. 4
yeah.
and 5 with the Illinois badges.
Oh. Well, in 4, those were state troopers when
Yeah.
Loomis goes into the water, when Donald Pleasence does his own stunts.
Mm-hmm. Little Billy Warlock. And that other guy, he's been in other stuff too. I think his dad, Billy Warlock's dad, is one of the stunts in this. Dick Warlock.
Mm-hmm. She's just waiting to hook up with Leo Rossi, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. That never happens at work, usually.
Exactly. Especially this dead hospital. Nobody's celebrating their Halloween baby or nothing.
It's kind of concerning there's no like doctor on duty. There's the drunk dude somewhere, but
The one drunk doctor.
they got like 12 babies in there and they got no doctor around. They got no OBs in there. That's fucked up.
Yeah, now that's a jump.
Hmm.
Wasn't she one of Jack's girlfriends?
I wasn't every single.
Yeah, every chick from the 70s, the late 70s.
I mean, is that better or worse than every single actress from the mid 90s being either Jerry Seinfeld or George's girlfriend?
Right? Matter of fact, a couple of these chicks in here were probably anybody that wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis. But she was supposed to be a scream queen, right? She was another one.
Her?
Her, yeah, I think.
Who? Yeah, I mean, somebody else got a big credit. Is it her? Hold on.
That's Pamela Susan.
Yeah, she's supposed to. Okay.
She was definitely on Buck Rogers, I think. I could see her in one of those satin jumpsuits.
The universal backlot. There you go.
See, now this is Laurie's theme, which they
Mhm.
completely forget.
Shitty ass fucking fucking mom.
She
Dad
must be
seemed
related
nice
to
in the
Rachel.
first one, right?
Lance Kerwin is Michael Myers. God, that wig is bad. But I think they put a worse one on her later on.
She starts in a worse one.
Oh,
Okay, so here's our first TNA.
yeah. Yeah. It had to be with this lizard.
Did Leo Rossi ever not play this guy?
Yeah, he was always the sleaze.
We're doing this instead of finding out about
Yes.
Laurie and Michael
Yes.
Myers.
This was a big deal then, too, wasn't it? I was like,
Edie, yeah. This would have been. I mean, Halloween 2 was one of the first big studio slasher movies, right? Like,
yeah, it was anticipated.
Friday the 13th was Paramount, but on the cheap. Not like.
And it was a hit that they kind of churned out the sequel faster than. Because all of these came out in a row. Only 82 put a stop to Halloween.
Well, I mean, that was the thing is they were like, we can do it. It doesn't matter if we take a year to do it, right? Like,
yeah.
And now we're to what? 2 years? The only the prestigious franchises. Oh, there you go. The A was Leo Rossi. With dog tags? Interesting.
He's a rough and tough guy.
But yeah, like Friday the 13th, this, because if they were going to do one of these every year as like an anthology or whatever, unrelated ones every year. I mean, the idea was you could get it done in a year, whereas now what do you wait for your average? I mean, the Marvel movies are theoretically, I mean, it depends on if they're a year or two, but like Batman's were 3. When they went to 2 is when they fucked it up. And now they're at like, 4 or whatever. So
2 was the Schumacher movies.
Yeah.
And they were trying to churn them out.
They were. They thought, well, it was the one Schumacher. Yeah. They thought they were going to be able to do it. So now the idea is that Michael knows. Michael wants a woman's touch.
Yeah, he's a little but she's a sinner. She's been in there messing around. Ew. You don't taste that mud and dirt?
And blood. Not
that
to mention
shot of Michael. They use those. They use that anytime something got graphic on AMC, they would insert that one shot. Well, like, remember the scene in the beginning where he stabs the girl? You see in her getting stabbed, they put that shot in there. With the background and all. It's like, what the fuck?
You have a gratuitous gross out death scene there. With some nudity thrown in just to make it.
So she got paid.
Presumably.
Unless she was one of those, she complained afterwards. They made me get naked and I didn't get paid. So yeah, here we go. He does do the what's that? The Sam Hain in the school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we didn't see that when we walked in.
No. Also, he's got the flashlight even though the lights are on.
Right, all the lights are on. What the fuck does he have a flashlight?
Very big in the
Yes.
thorn. Okay, here we
One of
go.
the coolest characters in the whole saga.
Dr.
Why does he
Pataki
look so
sent
scared?
me.
Right.
So she has a cigarette in this one. She probably had a cigarette in the first one. She definitely does a cigarette in H2O. Does she have a
Yeah.
cigarette scene in H40?
Yeah, that's her shtick. She smokes. Unless she
Wait a
says
second.
something in H40.
The custodian's there? Michael broke in while the custodian was there and left him alive?
Yeah, because he just wanted to commit, tomfoolery. And the custodian's there in the middle of the night,
Mm-hmm.
buffing the floors. I didn't hear anything. This scene right here is definitely from the old, like, 50s horror movies.
Mm-hmm. Weird little Jimmy coming back in.
It would have been better if she was just annoyed by him.
Or if there was like some other similar girl in another room, he was visiting her all the time too. Like just going between the two of them.
Or if he was kind of like, what you call it? Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters,
Right.
just annoying the shit out of her.
Of course, now she's catatonic, so that's it for Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie.
Right.
I guess she made it 55 minutes in. This one does move pretty damn well.
Oh, yeah. The pacing is really good in this.
Did we not get a scene of Michael killing a naked old man? Was that cut?
Thankfully. Tell them I'm coming after I feed my fish.
Womp womp. We couldn't see it the way the shot was before.
Oh, this is coming out of the dark. Very nice. Wow. So he knew exactly what the stuff does, huh?
Yep.
So she is dead.
That's his first looking shot, right?
Oh, yeah. With the head cocked.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta admit, they kind of amp up the suspense. It's not like the first one, but they pick it up a little as the movie
Yeah.
goes along.
Once Michael gets more active in it, like I think it's sort of inevitable. Like the really boring earlier ones were when Michael wasn't there, right? Or he was, but he was there just for the jump scare, like a security guard getting it. Like that went on way too long because we don't eventually get to some great Dean Cundey POV Michael shots, you know? So what is the deal with the turtleneck though?
Nope.
Just kidding.
Trick or treat, Michael.
This is pretty much where the Rob Zombie homage picks up. Including with what's her name? There's a cameo from I can't remember her name. She's famous, but anyway, there's a cameo in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 as the nurse. Is that it for Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, because the power is out.
Well,
somebody's watching TV.
Out. Wasn't that the same hallway as 2 shots ago?
Yeah. This is clearly built on a set hospital. Probably the old Marcus Welby Hospital or something.
She's going to call up her mom, who's going to be like, I told you, you're not my daughter.
Right. Told you. Don't ever call me again.
Why didn't Laurie's parents take Jamie?
I don't know. That's a good question. Or they might have been presumed dead by then, too.
Or they were like, she's not my daughter. That's not my granddaughter.
No responsibility. They were like Brody and Jaws, too. I've been through that hell. I'm not going through it again.
Does it come up at all in 666? Because it should, since they're in the old Strode house, and theoretically they should know about Jamie Lloyd, right? Or no, because the dad's just a fuck up, and his brother, an asshole. Yeah, and the brother like gave his fuck up brother a house and a job. That would be Jamie Lee Curtis's big scene for the second act of the movie.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Loomis.
That's like the most California this movie's felt.
Yeah.
Nobody's noticed the security guard's been gone for a movie?
Hell no.
Because he was at the end of the hall.
That's how it always is. So there's literally not anybody else in the hospital.
Nope. And her name is Jill Franco, which makes me wonder if she's named after Larry Franco, who, of course, co-produced a bunch of John Carpenter movies.
Oh, yeah. They always name dropped each other.
Wow, that was... So you cut Michael out of this, and he's the murderer.
Pretty much.
He's the only one who's away when everybody's...
Yeah. That might actually be a pretty good movie. It's no visiting hours, but it's...
Okay, so nobody's found any bodies yet that's still alive, isn't the other thing.
Here it comes. Poor Lance Guess. This one's kind of creepy.
Because this is the blood that Lori was imagining earlier or whatever.
Right. Or we're to assume she was imagining that.
Or she had a psychic connection with Michael, just like her daughter will in
There you go.
2 movies or 3 movies.
Woo. Ugh.
That Dean Cundey photography, though.
It does look kind of real, though. Ugh.
It's pretty. Okay, so she doesn't get away.
No.
Okay. So Michael ran out there and snuck into the back of her car.
Right, because he just knew she was going to leave.
Okay. Well, he did
knew what car she
overhear them,
drove.
but yeah. Even though she's not the one whose car we established earlier. Like,
Right.
it makes sense if it was what's-her-face.
Yeah.
It makes...
Ambulance tires are still intact.
Where do they keep the keys to those?
Yeah.
Some of the...
Rossi's got the keys.
They draw attention to her hair too much. Like...
Yeah, it's really bad there. That's another wig. That's totally a different wig.
They were mad at the person who pulled the prank and gave him a Hulk wig.
Oh, you see that? You saw it in Lori Vision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeesh.
So he slashed the tires on his way in. We're gonna guess.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Yeah. To me, this is the best piece of the score there, the chase score.
Yeah.
This one's so good. I think they used it in the beginning of Terror in the Isles.
So I clearly misspoke earlier. Jamie Lee Curtis's best set piece is this one, not the earlier one.
Oh yeah.
Somewhat less, more thankless, but also lots more to do. And also to sort of play up her new Scream Queen thing. Though this would be her last movie as a Scream Queen, right?
Yeah, this was after Terror Train.
I think so.
So it's definitely after Prom Night. So from this point on, she's serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeesh.
Think Rob Zombie really does something with a window in the other one.
Universal prop department.
Mm-hmm. Is that the controlled substances thing? Like,
See, now I wanted to see Michael climb through that shit.
somebody was like, we can make him walking with the little scalpel just as menacing as him with a knife, but it looks like he's walking around with a pen.
Yeah. As we all know, those elevators, no matter what, the door opens right open if you obscure it when it closes. Unless, that was something they developed after this movie.
I like how all of a sudden, once she gets hidden in there, they care about the lighting so much more. Oh, damn, look at that wig.
Look at that. Look at that mop.
That is not the same wig as 2 scenes ago.
No. Looks like Benji hair.
This is the main street that we went down earlier. Why are they going to the hospital? Is it just on the way out of town?
Yeah, it's on the way out of town. This deputy guy is the best day player.
Mm-hmm. Look at him.
It's
Like,
just,
he's sniffing, moving his mustache around.
yeah. He must have been security at Universal somewhere.
Talking about the druids, tying us into Halloween
Cult of
3
Thorn,
and the Cult of Thorn.
which they need to just go ahead and do, connect it.
Oh, of course.
She's killing that turtleneck neck brace looking sweater.
I want to see the the movie about the governor unsealing Michael Myers' file and shit. Like,
Oh, here we go.
Loomis is like,
Figure it out, Loomis. Let him keep his gun.
mm-hmm,
Shot from the Blues Brothers.
mm-hmm.
It's definitely from the tour. That road, that's from the Universal tour.
The
Right by the Jaws tank.
the 15-year thing establishes is what they do in H2O a little bit too. That's
Yeah.
how they.
Oh. Or Lance Guest. Eesh.
I mean, he was clearly intended to live, just because why else would you give him such a shitty death scene? Right? Like,
So he died by just hitting his head too hard?
yeah, he has an
Yeah, concussion.
untreated concussion there.
He got slammed by an orca tail.
Mm.
Died like Richard Harris. An orca.
Dino De Laurentiis, so you know.
Wow.
Interesting.
He's another guy you hate to see him go. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Eesh. Damn you, Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. Okay.
What's strange is this one's not in continuity with Halloween 2018 or Halloween Kills, but Laurie kept wearing wigs, just like in this movie, for the rest of her life. What? I want to understand why he didn't hear her in that same location when he was closer.
Right, he kept walking.
Or why they didn't.
Yeah. Oh, here comes the Jaws shot. Look at this. Oh, God.
It'd be funnier if Loomis had forgotten to reload.
Right? Oh, no. It just throws the gun at him.
Yeah.
Oh, see? I love how they're accurate enough to give the sheriffs, the state troopers or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they give them the Illinois badge. Oh, breathing.
Now, in the TV cut, they don't do the neck slit. And instead,
no.
it appears Loomis shoots the cop.
Really?
Yeah. The way they cut it.
They just do the sting in the music. You just know.
No, I watched it. There's this YouTube examination of it by somebody I know online. Yeah. And it's Michael picks him up, and the idea is Michael stabs him in the back, but they cut that, and instead Loomis shoots, and then Michael tosses the body aside. When does Laurie, if ever, learn Loomis's name?
That's true. Because nobody else knows his name. They don't explicitly say it to her.
Nobody talks to her about him at all.
No. He's just this old man that shows up.
Yep.
Shaky. Oh, no.
He just walked through glass earlier, and
right.
He can't.
Oh, there he goes.
Yep.
He Frankensteined his way through this one.
Yep. Told you, Loomis. Oh.
Yeah, that's creepy. Moving his head like an old claymation cartoon.
Mm-hmm. Because that turtleneck.
Oh yeah, this shot they love.
Mm-hmm. Shouldn't he be blind when he comes back?
He's like Frankenstein.
Okay.
Or the
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, but that's because they put Bela Lugosi's brain in his. Bela Lugosi's brain somehow fixed the monster's eyes. The monster
They ended
spent a
up.
movie blind.
Yeah, there was one movie where
yeah,
he's allegedly blind, but they
Ghost.
never explain. They never
No,
say
they
it.
do.
They don't. They forget about it. So think the
No,
one
doesn't
with
he go blind? He goes. Something happens at the end of Son of Frankenstein to make him blind. Yes, Son of Frankenstein is about them putting Bela Lugosi's brain in the monster.
those ghosts of Frankenstein.
No, Ghost of Frankenstein is where Bela Lugosi plays the monster. No, shit.
Lugosi played him in
Fuck.
Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman.
He goes blind in Frankenstein Meets the Wolf. No, he goes blind.
He goes blind at the end of Ghost of Frankenstein.
Yes.
Because so Bela Lugosi is like,
yes.
What good is a body with eyes that cannot see?
Exactly. So he should be blind in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, but they never address it.
Yeah, they never address it. Yeah, they never say
Just
anything.
like Michael.
What good is a body with eyes that cannot see? Let's party, Michael. All those innocent babies had to blow up.
Yeah, they don't establish that they didn't kill those babies. So
the inspiration for Blumhouse.
It should have been in the body count.
Here we go.
Yep.
A burning Michael, which was teased early on at the death of old Ben Tramer. Very much like Spock in Wrath of Khan, where they tease his death early on and
do it later. Yep. So that cop's back. Is Hunter Von... Oh, there's Hunter Von Leer. He couldn't be busy. He couldn't actually look for Michael anywhere.
So far. See, now there's somebody in that ambulance, though. You clearly see a body back there.
Mm-hmm. Because that's Lance Guest, right?
Yeah, it's Lance Guest. Which means he's probably not dead.
He's not driving. Why couldn't he have taken her into the fucking ambulance? Like,
he said, damn that. With the night this girl's had, she's bad luck.
and now the people come out of the fog to go look at the burning hospital. And that's it.
Is that the definitive ending for Halloween for several years? Boom, boom.
Look at how high billed Jeffrey Kramer is in this movie for his one scene.
Right. He was in Jaws, man.
Dick Warlock played Michael. Dana Carvey assistant. Craig, Bill Warlock.
Jonathan Prince. What else was he in? He was in something.
Nancy Loomis, Annie. So Loomis is where John Carpenter got the name.
Nick Warlock played a patrolman.
Yep. Bennett Tramer. Not just Ben Tramer, Bennett Tramer. Was Mr. Sam this was in Back to the Future 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as Marty walks in town.
Yeah. Universal clearly owned some rights. Gary B. Kibbe was one of the assistant photographers. He'd go on to shoot everything Carpenter did in the 90s, pretty much. And starting in the late 80s, I think. Not Dean Cundey, but, pretty good. I mean, nobody's Dean Cundey.
I almost want to watch Escape from New York.
Just watch Escape from New York.
There's just too much crap you got to watch from the beginning.
Nah, just chill out.
I mean, all the establishing shit.
It's not that long. Just get...
No, it's not. That's the thing.
Chilled out before the flight starts and buckle up and enjoy that flight in.
Yeah.
Dick Warlock, stunt coordinator. There was a registered nurse on staff. I'll bet the production illustrations were pretty cool. Menacing Michael Myers around the hospital and shit. Like,
this is what the beginning of all the we're gonna do, where you have to do a murder scene in a hospital in a slasher movie sort of thing.
Friday 13th would do it pretty quick, right? 3 or 4.
Yeah, 4.
And then fucking
The Burning. There's a scene in The Burning where he has to the killer gets out of the hospital. I think he kills somebody in the hospital. There's a few more.
Well, I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street turned it into a whole bit.
Yeah. Especially part 3. Filmed in Panavision.
It's too bad there's no Michael Myers will not return, but Halloween will tag. Oh, special thanks. Wonder what the deal is with the special thanks.
Oh, use of a house.
All right. So, yeah, Halloween 2. It was intended to end the franchise. And, well, no, it was intended to end the Michael Myers franchise and start the Halloween franchise, which would then be an annual unconnected horror
anthology
show. Yeah. And it didn't make it past the first one. And then, let's see. The first time after this that John Carpenter would work on a Michael Myers movie was H4O. So there you go.
That was the big anniversary gala.
That was the one. Those are the only sequels John Carpenter gives his blessing to, which is weird.
Yeah.
And honestly seems like he just wants to get his son a job composing music. But
there you go.
Whatever. Just say, like, Occam's razor. Yeah. So, I mean, Halloween 2's no Halloween, but for a slasher movie, it's got a lot of good shit. Yeah. For a slasher sequel, it's got a lot of good shit.
It also started like the first one. It set the standard for slasher sequels, so to speak. Even though I think I might give Friday 13th Part 2 a slight edge because that just launched the franchise after that.
Yeah, and it didn't have. I mean, it was launching a franchise as opposed to trying to kill one, right? Like John Carpenter was incorrect that people wanted an annual, unrelated horror movie.
Yeah, thanks to Jason, Michael Myers kind of had to come back.
But it took a while because this is 81 and it took him 7 years to get him back.
Yeah. You had your Freddy's and Leatherface came back, and
this was 3 years before Nightmare, 4 years before Texas Chainsaw 2. So by the time Michael Myers came back, there had been those two plus Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Was that it for named slasher franchise? Or, well, I mean, Hellraiser and Freddy are a little different.
I want to say Child's Play came out in 89.
88.
88? Okay, it was 88 then.
But still, so, yeah.
That came late in the game, but still, 4 came out in 88. So, and nobody knew that Child's Play was gonna sort of lingered for a minute.
Yeah, and they got years out of that one too. There's your Monster Squad remake.
Oh yeah.
It's Michael, Jason, Freddy, Pinhead, and Chucky. And they just fight the whole time. They just bicker.
They're going to have to do that, though.
I mean, I don't know. They're never going to get Freddy.
Would they allow a Monster Squad with slasher characters, though?
Oh, I don't
Because when you think about it, Monster Squad was more, you could get away with, the Wolfman and Dracula and Frankenstein's monster. You can't really
Well, let's see who owns these right now. So Universal's got Michael and Chucky. What? Paramount's got
back.
Except there's that whole lawsuit thing. So who knows? You might have to do Potato Sack, Jason.
Yeah.
Chucky giving him shit the whole movie.
Well, that's the last time he was actually scary, though.
What else? I don't know. They're making Pinhead. I can't remember where that's at, but
they completely, once Clive Barker finished with that, it was
you mean
3 was the writing on the wall.
The 9 video sequels aren't good. Including the 3 of them that just had Pinhead scene shot and inserted into an
they just put them in there.
Horror movie. All right, let's really quick see if we can do some what do you call it? Halloween 2 trivia to close us out. Let's see if there's anything good here. Apologize for the typing, y'all. Let's see what we got here. Blah, don't care about the mask. Dick Warlock says he got the part as Michael by picking up the Michael mask and staring and approaching Rick Rosenthal and not speaking.
So what Nick Castle was directing by then?
Well, yeah, because Last Starfighter was a couple years later, right? And Nick Castle he co-wrote Escape from New York.
Oh, that's right.
Producer-writer John Carpenter didn't like Rick Rosenthal's first version of the film, believing it was as scary as an episode of Quincy M.E.
Because it took place in that damn hospital.
What's his face? Carpenter thought Rosenthal didn't have a feeling for what was going on with the film. The only Halloween movie to show the morning after the 31st. Every other movie ends on Halloween night. And
that's actually true.
Is Carpenter talking about his writing process being a 6-pack of Budweiser every day?
Jeez.
Not in one night, but they got money. They got paid for this one, as opposed to the first one where they didn't get any back end. The Howling. So the other horror movies of 1981 were The Howling, Friday the 13th Part 2, and The Final Conflict.
Damn, that's right. That was that early 80s run where there was like werewolf movies too.
The Howling franchise, that's another one you forget about.
The Howling, Wolfen, Company of Wolves. There was a bunch of them at one point. Silver Bullet. Why don't they do werewolf movies anymore? That's weird.
I mean, CGI werewolves look like shit. Nobody wants. I mean, fucking American Werewolf. Nobody wants to spend the time. Nobody wants to do the makeup, and the CGI fur's not there yet. Like, not enough.
No.
According to Dick Warlock, Deborah Hill later said he walked too slow in an interview, and that fucked up the movie. And Dick Warlock's upset that that she didn't just tell him that on the job. The hospital's gone. It's apartments. What else we got here?
Oh, so the hospital was a location then, but the interiors had to be set, right?
Yeah. 30 I don't know. Was filmed at Morningside Hospital. Doesn't specify whether it's interior or exterior. 8711 South Harvard, Los Angeles. Who's Lance Warlock?
There's another one.
There is another one. Lance Warlock is Billy's younger brother. He played Kid with Boombox.
Oh.
And Kid with Boombox, who runs into Michael, was shot by John Carpenter. So that whole fucking sequence, John Carpenter had to do that. The one where we were talking how great
they had a
nighttime for
yeah.
So some of the reason this movie looks like a little bit like Halloween 1 is because John Carpenter shot a bunch of this shit. Jamie Lee Curtis, Scream Queen, Prom Night, The Fog. We didn't include that in that list. Terror Train and Road Games. Road Games came out in February, so presumably this came out after that. So this would have been her last one.
Hardest working chick. Jeez. She didn't stop, though. She kept going after. That broad was momentum. Jeez. And she did, what's it called? Trading Places.
Trading Places. And then within a few years, she did Fish Called Wanda. I mean, this was sort of her last one before she got famous.
Right. Or she became an actress.
Down Pleasant says more screen time. Most of the actors portraying the hospital staff were in Rick Rosenthal's acting class. So if we want to talk about what's responsible here, let's see here. There's a novelization that apparently several scenes and lines in the film were taken by Carpenter from the original novelization. It's interesting. What else? There's a lot of fucking trivia for this movie. Holy shit.
I don't doubt it.
Well, shit.
With all the Fangoria shit.
Right?
Plus the stuff
like
that's
how many special editions have they done of this shit?
Really? Of 2?
Well, I mean, there's... Shout Factory's probably done 2, right?
I just know they do keep... This is probably one of the most re-released of the... Because it's been through so many different, it wasn't always just strictly Universal, I don't think, right?
Okay, I think what it is Universal did a special edition, and then... Oh, and there you go. Wait, we didn't pay attention. If there's a Mustafa Akkad Presents at the beginning of this is the really remastered one where... because Universal originally took his name off of it once they could legally. Because they're assholes, I guess. Let's see. Anything? Nick Castle couldn't reprise his role as the Shape because he was starting out his directing career. Okay, supposedly this is the same mask, and the reason it's fucked up is because of dust and Deborah Hill smoking around it. The entirety of the opening 3 minutes of the film is simply archive footage from the previous film.
No, not all of it.
The director used theatrical differences to enhance his version of the ending.
Yeah, it has a Mustafa Akkad Presents.
Anne-Marie Martin came into production as a favor when additional shooting was. So Anne-Marie Martin, who wasn't she in? She was in fucking Buck Rogers. She was in Doctor Strange too. And I think she's the one who married Michael Crichton. Yeah. She's in the shot with
she's the one
the
towards
nurse
the beginning
who disappears later. Okay.
She's the one. You're all the way near Russellville.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So Gloria Gifford was in. She was one of the ones in the acting class with.
And she was in 48 Hours.
48 Hours.
Her part should have been bigger, but then again.
She was also in an Incredible Hulk.
Olivia Brown. She was in the Hulk.
Mm-hmm. There's a. Yeah.
I hope it's not the episode with Ernie Hudson in them. Tony Burton keeps the Black Panther in his club and shit.
Supposedly, Jamie Lee Curtis met Christopher Guest in this. Good grief! I'm not even. Okay, now we're getting into where people are talking about the kind of knife used in the Elrod home, and they're getting desperate at this point. Yep. So yes, Pamela Susan Shoop has a terrible story about how they tried to pressure her into shooting in the full nude for 2 days and only got out of it because Deborah Hill stepped in at the last minute. So her nude scene could have been even more exploitative.
She was the one that did it for money, right? Because somebody back then got paid to be naked. I remember.
It was a closed set, and then they lied. That was the chicken Caddyshack, wasn't it? Cindy Morgan, she had a bad time. No, Pamela Shoop was told she would be shooting her nude scene on a closed set, and they invited 19 people.
There's a bunch of people around. Yeah.
So Ben Tramer is named after a friend of John Carpenter's who went on to write episodes for Saved by the Bell.
Ugh.
So there's that. And there's a documentary filmed on a set, set of the hospital, from a few years ago. Interesting. Blah, 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 sequel stuff. Rick Rosenthal made somebody go to the hospital when she was injured instead of when she wanted to keep working. Michael Myers is shot 14 times. Okay, wait. Carpenter made Michael and Laurie brother and sister following Empire Strikes Back.
What?
Yeah, he says that's what inspired him.
Okay.
Good grief. So you think we get into the minutia of this shit? The fucking trivia section tracks how many people get killed on each weapon. All right, so there you go. We don't go that deep into it. Jamie Lee Curtis has 25 minutes of screen time in this movie. So there you go.
Well, because there's just so much going on, and she doesn't have much to say anyway.
Nope. All right, well, Halloween 2.
And it's still a classic.
Yep. And if they ever fucking find the original footage of the director's or of the TV cut, maybe, but not until then. Not watching it pan and scan again.
God. Yeesh.
not Dean Cundey pan and scan. I can't do it.
No, with it all pushed in. I keep thinking of that damn Channel 9 cut.
I don't know. The AMC one sounds more fun with the same footage. Just the silly ass. The one reaction shot of Michael.
Yeah, where they just insert it in every scene, every other scene where there's something really graphic. They put that insert of where he's about to kill what's her name in the hospital. It's funny as hell. I think they used to have the clip on YouTube. I don't know if they still do though.
Okay, so here is the most sort of desperate Halloween 2 trivia. And this will be our last little bit here. The revelation that Michael is Laurie's older brother suggests that at the opening of the first film, when he is walking towards his parents with a bloody knife while they were coming out of the car, he might well have been on his way to murder her as a child while she was sitting in the back seat.
Well.
Sure, Jan. All right.
Right. Sure, Jan.
All right, everybody. That will wrap up this penultimate episode of season 1, and we will be back next time with the 1978 classic, Halloween.
Finale.
The finale. Ending at the beginning.
Excited? I'm excited.
Really, we're sprinkling out the good ones. And yes, and then we will have to decide what order we're watching next season's movies in. So
stay tuned.
We'll talk about that next time.
Yes, sir.
Until then, have a good night.
Adieu. Night.
The night he came home again. More of the night he came home.
More
right?
of the night he came home, yeah.